Hello, Internet. Today with me, I have Derek Furtney. He's replacing the other
Hey,
Derek because the other Derek was. What's a nice way to say not here?
ill, ill, under the weather.
Yeah, there you go. He was under the weather,
hmm
which apparently the
Under the
weather's been
weather.
super shitty everywhere. So I could see how it kind of
Mm.
was. But yeah, so I'm see you got the memo to wear your cream colored yellow shirt for this podcast, which
Oh,
is great. So now we match. So
yeah,
people
yeah.
people will know we're on the same team.
Can't tell us apart. Yeah, they definitely think we're the same
Yeah.
person. A little bit of facial hair, white. What else do you need?
Oh, I wasn't wearing my glasses. Usually I wear glasses, but
Ah, dang it.
I'm actually kind of narcissistic, and when I wear glasses on a video, it makes my eyes look really small because I have such a thick prescription. And it's like I'll wear glasses, and then I'll like
Ah.
look like my head goes like whoop behind my glasses, so that's why I don't wear them. Which
See,
isn't.
I have the opposite problem.
Oh, make
That
sure.
my eyes are smaller than my glasses eyes.
Oh, so you
Yeah,
have? Are
yeah.
you farsighted? Can't see far
The
away.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
Because I
nearsighted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have the thing where I can't see far away. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. I so the problem is too, I want to get laser eye surgery. And I have a slight stigmatism, so I need to like they need to like suction cut my eyeballs and do some really gross stuff to it for a bit. And I'm kind of unsure about that. And then it turns out that my wife, a lovely human being, Christy, she doesn't like me without my glasses on. And so now I'm kind of torn because it's like, well, I could like have perfect vision and
Yeah.
not have to wear glasses, which would
Mhm.
be fantastic. Or I can keep my glasses and have a happy wife and save $3,500 or something. So I'm
Here's
torn.
here's what you do.
Mm.
Besides the happy wife, happy life thing, you keep your glasses and you buy something ridiculously dumb with the 3 grand. And then when your
Mhm.
wife goes to give you shit, be like, well, you said you wanted me to keep my glasses. So I'm just trying to make you happy. And meanwhile, you have like whatever ridiculous thing you bought for
A
$3,000.
new laptop so that I can become a rotating guest on here with better video quality.
Yeah, actually, your video quality is good. It's just phone thing, but we have guests on the phone all the time.
ah,
The crackling thing, I don't know. That might
mm.
be my internet. I don't know. We were trying to solve it. That's why we started 15 minutes late. Sorry, everybody, but yeah, we couldn't figure it out. So I guess pretend Derek's extra spicy, and that's what the
Oh,
crackle's from.
so spicy.
There, well, you're not crackling anymore. So just talk in your sexy voice like you just did, and we'll be
Mamma
good.
mia.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there anything you would like to talk about this week, or do you want to just go with my pedestrian list that
Oh,
I had sent you?
well, if there's one thing everybody in my life knows about me is I'm always outraged, Dale. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, that was when I was kind of mentioning this, that I was invited. The feedback was, but you're never angry about anything.
Mm,
So I feel like I'm the perfect person to be very angry
yeah.
about the internet. And
Well, see,
yeah,
that's actually the thing is, it's not us getting angry. It's the loophole
it's the
is
internet.
we look
Mm.
at what people are getting mad about online, and then we make fun of them because they're dumb for caring.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how our slogan goes. I don't know. Derek always says it. And then I'm like, yeah, I'll remember that.
And then
Definitely.
he's not here. He's not
Yeah.
here.
It's only been
Mm.
160 episodes. You figure I would have learned it by now, but
No, 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 no. Well,
I, yeah.
yeah,
So,
I think potato people maybe is
mm,
what you're needing to talk about.
yeah, I did
That
tweet that out that we would talk about the gender neutral potato head.
yeah.
So like we were talking about this a bit before. I was like, I'm not even going to talk about this because this is just ridiculous. Like, it's just like, basically wokeness T-ball, where Hasbro, the company that owns Mr. Potato Head, was just like, well, we'll just take the Mr. off and then we'll be gender neutral. And then a bunch of people online were like, I can't believe they're doing this to the toy I liked when I was a kid, and blah, blah, blah. And I was all like, people still play with Mr. Potato Heads? Like, is it even relevant anymore?
I think it is. When I was last with my parents, they actually have the potato people. Are they potato people or potato heads?
Yeah, they're
But
just
whatever they
potato
are,
heads
there's
now.
a giant bucket of potato head people,
Yeah.
non-gendered, either gender, whatever, any gender, and they're all just smashed into one thing. And it kind of just it makes sense that like kids are just tossing things into toy boxes anyways.
Yeah.
So you could almost just do it as a cost-saving measure. You know, you just sell them all in one box, and then you're not even, who cares if it's a male or a female or whatever. Or as a kid, I had three-eyed potato people, anyways. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like anything to me that somebody would get upset about it. It's not a wokeness thing, maybe from my perspective, but
Yeah. Do you
I
want to
don't know.
hear?
I don't have a good woke radar, so
Yeah. So I was actually reading up on this. And do you want to hear like what actually is the most annoying part about this whole thing? Is
Hmm.
they're not actually getting rid of Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. Like you're still going to be able
Oh,
to buy Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, but the whole toy line was called Mr. Potato Head. So it would be like Mr. Potato Head logo, and then in the box would be the guy to be like Mr. Potato Head. And this girl
mm,
one would be like Mr. Potato Head logo, and it'd be Mrs. Potato Head. Now it's just Potato Head logo and Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head. So it's like this whole
oh,
great big thing for
about
nothing.
nothing.
Yeah, so basically the toy logo has Mr.
Mm,
Potato Head taken out of it, and all the stuff is just the same. Like you could still buy
mm,
the boy one or the girl one, but they don't
mm.
they don't say which one it is. So that's like I don't know, like
Huh. Yeah, people just like getting angry. You're in
yeah,
a pandemic. We're running out of new ideas.
yeah,
Potatoes. I
yeah.
want to
Now
be
that
angry about potatoes.
yeah, now that there's no Trump, we got to get mad about a different potato. Eh?
Yeah, I was angrier. I was angrier about the fact that they are made after russet potatoes, and there's just like such a wide variety of potatoes that they could be pulling from. That it shouldn't just be russet. Like that's so basic. I mean, there's like some it starts with a K. I don't remember the name, but the kind of like White Spot makes their potatoes from or their French
Oh,
fries,
Cavendish.
and that's what you need.
Mm.
Yeah,
Those are
make it out of that.
littler and
Crispier.
yellow. Did you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you know that when Mr. Potato
I
Head
did not.
started, the toy, it didn't even come with a plastic potato. It just came with the parts, and you'd stick it in your like you'd have to supply your own potato. That was the whole gimmick of it. Was they
So,
just yeah.
huh?
So
Pre-dinner
you
fun.
have this toy that just would go rotten. Like
Awesome.
you'd be
Awesome.
sticking all this
That's
stuff
like,
in, and then you just forget about it, and then your toy would be like
yeah,
gross.
that's peak 50s right there.
Yeah. Like if
Yeah.
you have a child, let's
I
say
do have a child.
when your child was 5 years old, if you were to give her a potato and she stuck all these things in it, would you then take that potato from the child who's 5 years old and cook it and eat it, or would you throw it away? Be honest.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'd skin it and then
Mhm.
I'd put it in and I'd put it in a pot. You don't want to
Yeah.
put it in when it's hot because then the potato will feel it, right? You have to let your child know that when you're putting their favorite toy in the pot, that you're putting it in when it's cold, and then you're just gently warming it up. It won't feel a thing. It's totally
Yeah.
fine. And then when you mash it up and you're kind of just like mashing it all together and stuff, you can put the eyes on there afterwards. And look, it's so happy. It's great. It just looks a bit different now. He had some work done. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Just a little a murdered potato.
Yeah, mashed Mr. Mashed Potato.
Yeah. I wonder how kids would feel about that. Like if they would be upset that you killed and were eating their potato. Would your
Yeah,
child
yeah,
care?
yeah, yeah. Only one way to find out. Only
Mm.
one way to find out. I'm gonna,
Yeah,
gonna try that next week.
get her emotionally attached to a potato head, and then be like, "We're killing and eating your potato head that you love so much," and then she'll be traumatized for the rest of her life.
It's like an episode of Jamie Oliver when he goes to Italy, and they're just like, "This is our rabbit. It's dinner now." It's like,
Yeah,
here you go, kid. You can skin it. You're the child. You get to skin the rabbit.
yeah, that sounds
But
like
with
life on the
potatoes,
farm. Like
mainly.
one of my favorite stories to tell about what it's like to grow up on a farm was I went into the barn to go talk to my dad, and he was butchering rabbits, and he had the I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, if it's like actually mean to animals or whatever, because he would have the rabbit like by the back legs, and then he would smack it with a hammer to kill it, and then he would like
Mm.
cut around the legs at the top and just peel all the skin off, and then there'd be like steam coming off it because it was cold and stuff. And it was, I think I was like 9 or 10, and it was like I was like, oh my god, and it freaked me out. And then we had rabbit that night, and I don't know if rabbit. I still don't know if I don't like rabbit because it tastes greasy, or if because I saw my dad butcher the rabbit itself.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's definitely a traumatic. Yeah, that's a trauma reaction.
so what I'm really trying to say is I'm cultured like they are in Italy.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
I
You
call
are
that
one of the more cultured people I
right. I'm glad you find. I didn't want to say it
know.
about myself because I'm kind of a humble guy and I don't like to brag about myself.
Mm,
But I'm
mm,
just glad you put it out there
mm,
for everybody to hear about how cultured I am.
mm. Yeah, yeah. That's for
Yeah.
sure. One of the
Mhm.
most cultured people I've ever met. Mhm.
And you've seen me play baseball, so you know just how cultured I am.
I have,
Yeah.
I have, yeah. Um, Speaking of culture,
Yeah.
uh, that I didn't have a good. I was gonna try and use that to segue into something, but
Oh,
I
I
got
was
nothing.
gonna say.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I
I'm
got one for you. I got one for
yes.
you. Speaking
All right.
of trauma and animals, how would you feel about getting bitten on your ass by a bear in an outhouse?
I wouldn't be a fan, and the main reason is like I think if like I personally have been bitten on the butt by an animal before. When I was like 5, a German Shepherd.
Oh,
I hopped over
geez.
a fence as a kid,
Yeah.
and a German Shepherd ran around, took a chunk out of my butt, and then I kind of forgot about it for years. And then one day I was walking by a German Shepherd,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I was just like, German Shepherd, and had a flashback to a German Shepherd running around and biting me in the arse.
Oh,
And
crazy.
now, yeah, yeah. So I can imagine that lady that she would be traumatized by that in some way. But I think that like you should be cautious about bears all the time. Not that I would look at an outhouse, which I will
Mhm.
do from now on. Maybe not with the light because I don't want to look at what's in there, but I will like peek more in
Wait,
advance.
you're not like every time I ever go into an outhouse, I have to look because because I'm scared there's going to be a bear in there, but because I'm scared the Fluke Man from X Files is going to be in there. Do you remember that episode where there's that guy? He was like half man, half fluke worm, and he was like hiding in an outhouse because he was like gross or whatever, and he like pulled a person down into the outhouse. Ever since I saw that when I was like 14, I think I've been traumatized. So I always look in the in the outhouse. I'm always like, please don't be monsters. Please don't be monsters.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. I think from, and this is just from being at like some kind of camp out thing with not enough toilets available. The real concern that you need is that you're not just going to like sit down and then be touching somebody else's excrement. Because that
oh,
I've been in,
that's
I have been in a
oh,
situation where like they just didn't order enough porta potties,
oh
and
my
then by
god,
the end of the weekend, it was just like you could tell people were having to like hover
oh my god,
if they were using it. So
oh my god,
that's
Derek.
much more concerning.
I think you just said the grossest thing that has ever been said on this podcast, and that is sitting in
Excrement.
someone else's shit. Oh, oh,
It did not happen to me. It did
oh.
not.
Did it actually happen?
Yeah. I stopped using the outhouses at this place.
I thought you were gonna just explain. No, this was an unfounded fear I heard that thought would happen. But if that happened, you could never be clean. You would forever be unclean.
No. Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
So gross.
we should just to take our fucking minds off what Derek just told us. I'll just explain what we're talking about. So, an Alaskan woman, Shannon Stevens, was staying in a remote yurt, which is a problem right there. Who stays remotely for one and in a yurt for the other one? With her brother Eric and his girlfriend. And what happened was she went to the outhouse, which was 150 feet away from the yurt, which I think that's a lot. I'm not sure. That's like
10 meters or something.
Yeah,
I don't know how to calculate that stuff.
I think that's 50 meters because there's roughly 3 foot per meter. So that's like, I don't know, 0.2 of a kilometer away. But yeah, so she says she sat down without looking, which, as I explained before, is incredibly brave.
You would never do.
I would never do because of the fluke, man. And now because of bears. And there was a fucking bear in the outhouse. Like, the story doesn't say like if it was like one of those plastic porta potty ones or if it was like an actual dugout outhouse, which I'm guessing it must have been like a dugout outhouse. And maybe since it was remote, I'm hoping that it was remote enough that there wasn't too much, as Derek would say, excrement in the hole so that the bear wasn't, because I just feel bad for a shit covered bear. That would just be a horrible way to spend the winter. And so what happened was she basically sat on this bear's face and it bit her right away. And it doesn't say how bad he bit her, but he bit her. I'm just giving this bear a gender, which makes me unwoke, but he bit her hard enough to draw blood, which is way harder than anybody should be bitten by a bear. And yeah. So the moral of the story.
That's the way. Look at the toilet.
Yeah, and don't.
And also, how many have you? Yeah, and do you not sit on a bear's face? Is that another takeaway? Don't sit on a bear's face.
Well, preferably not, because they tend to bite you. I mean, I guess if you also, you're not going to be able. It's not going to be that good of a mount if you're sitting on its face. It'll be a rough ride. So you want to sit on the back, where it's like scientifically the softest for your butt. So when you're riding into war on your bear steed, you don't get a hemorrhoid, I think.
Okay, so if you're riding a bear, you want to be on the back.
Yeah, on the back of the bear.
Yes. Okay.
And that way, you can, if it goes to bite you, you could just control its head and point it forward so it just keeps running forward. I'm not sure how bears work, as you might tell, or how strong they are, or if you can like actually stop one from biting you. I hope I never find out. I mean, bears are cute and all, but they kill people, so I don't want to find out.
They do. Did you ever see the documentary Grizzly Man back in the day?
No. That's the one where the guy spends time with grizzlies and then he has like trouble in his life and he goes out there at the wrong time of the year and they're still hungry and they fucking eat him alive from the feet first.
Eat him alive. Him and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And it's who's the director? Werner Herzog.
Yeah, Werner Herzog. Yeah, because like they show they don't. So yeah, because what happened was at the end there's like a video of the guy getting eaten, but he hadn't taken the lens cap off the camera, so it was just audio. And they don't play the audio in the documentary. They just show Werner listening to it, right? Yeah. You see his face as he's listening, and he's just kind of like very kind of like movie German about it. I'm not gonna say real life German person, but like movie version of a German person. That is the best like loophole ever. Call somebody a movie version of a culture, and then you can play up the stereotypes, which they always do in movies. Wow.
Yeah.
Teaching me so much right now, Derek.
Himself, basically. Well, you know. Don't sit on poo. Be a movie version of a culture. It's all good.
Exactly. And with that coupled with my don't sit on a bear's face knowledge, I mean, You're sure to be okay if you ever go out in the woods. Mm-hmm.
Noted.
Right.
Yeah.
This is me coming up with a segue on the fly so that I can put it in seamlessly. You know what I think it is?
If I'd known it'd go this way, I would have written some out.
Yeah, there you go. I think all podcasts are this awkward. They just edit theirs so that it seems like it's all seamless. That's what I'm gonna guess.
Yeah,
Which
they also don't have me. Like at least I'm just not like being my normal social self, where I'm just kind of like looking good today.
yeah. No, it's not you. It's not you. It's me. That whole thing. Yeah, no, because the people who do podcasts, I don't really see them as all being socially suave, unless I'm just telling myself that. Like I'm just pretending that all other podcast hosts in the world are awkward, so that my awkwardness doesn't stick out. Well, what I was gonna say was
For sure.
I was gonna bring up the whole Elon Musk thing, and I was like, how do I get from bears to Musk? And it's like, I mean, I guess robot bears, but we haven't been talking about robot bears or sending
No.
bears into space. I mean,
Bears into space. Tardigrades.
oh, there
What do
you
they call
go.
those?
Yeah, that's tardigrades.
Yeah.
So let's just okay. So I'll go back, and I won't edit this because I'm lazy, but
Okay.
I'll pretend like we're going to. So we'll go back and we'll talk about the part where we're riding on bears. We'll say when I was talking about how you ride on the back of a bear instead of its face, we'll say which is a problem for tardigrades because they're like microscopic. So you'd have to just kind of sit over the whole thing, or a group of tardigrades that would make up a bundle. And then I'd be like, the other word for tardigrades is space bears because they can exist in a vacuum, like the vacuum of space. And then I'd be like, you know who else has a lot to do with space?
Exists in a vacuum of space.
Elon Musk. There we go. We got
Elon
there.
Musk. And why is Elon Musk? What is he doing in the news? What is he doing to upset people?
Actually, he said the most best thing. So what happened was Elon, I don't know. Does anybody else follow like the whole Joe Rogan scene as much as me who listens to this? I know Derek hates the other Derek, the one who's not here. I know he hates Joe Rogan. How do you feel about Joe Rogan?
I've never met him, so I don't personally hate him. I've never listened to his podcast because I think by the time I realized he existed, there was maybe like 2,000 to 3,000 episodes of his show, and I was just like, no, that's too much. I'm not doing it. And so I've never, my reference point for Joe Rogan is news radio.
Oh, that's a good reference point. That's a very good show.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was on that. And so when people talk about Joe Rogan, I always think of him as Joe, the mechanic.
Okay, so I'll give you.
Not newsroom.
I'll enlighten you with the bare bones thing. So, since the pandemic hit, California's been pretty shitty to run a business or do anything in because Gavin Newsom, the guy who runs California, I think he's like, or is he the mayor of LA? I think he's the mayor of LA. Anyways, so Gavin Newsom.
Nah, he's the governor.
Okay, yeah. I gotta Google this. He's the governor.
He's the governor of California.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So he's the governor of California, and he had such tight lockdowns for the pandemic that, I mean, they weren't tight compared to what's happening in Canada, but compared to everywhere else in the States, they were super tight. So all these businesses were going out of business. I should have said a different word so that didn't butt up against each other. So anyways, Joe Rogan saw the writing on the wall, and he was like, if all these businesses go broke, then California is just going to be like suffering economic wise. So he decided to move to Austin, Texas. And then Elon Musk, who is in, I don't know if he's like a friend of Joe Rogan's, but he's been on Joe Rogan a couple times, but he also moved to Texas, but his was more, I think because Newsom actually shut down the Tesla plant because they weren't following the restrictions close enough while they were trying to make their cars and stuff. So he moved the whole Tesla plant to Texas. And then the Washington Post was writing an article about how this would probably make the Tesla production suffer because within the movement and stuff, and then Elon Musk moving to Texas and stuff. Or wait, sorry, I got to backtrack there a bit. The Tesla plant, I don't know if the one in Texas is actually operational yet, or if it was actually. Don't you love all these? I don't actually know what I'm talking about. But what I think happened is
great.
I'm not sure if the Tesla car manufacturing plant is in Texas or if it's just the thing that makes their batteries or whatever. But anyways, so Washington Post, I don't know if anybody really cares about that. So Washington Post writes this story about how Tesla's going to suffer without Elon Musk there to drive it. And it comes up with some like quippy thing like, will Tesla survive on autopilot while Elon Musk moves to Texas, basically saying like with the upheaval of him moving states, is this going to affect the product? And then Washington Post tried to get a comment from Tesla, the organization, and they were just like, no comment. And then they tried to get a comment from Elon Musk, and he just says, give my regards to your puppet master, because Jeff Bezos runs the Washington Post. And that made Elon Musk my fucking hero, because that's amazing to just call a whole news organization just out like that. Be like, yeah, tell your puppet master I said hi. Like, what do you think of that?
He's all right. So, like Elon Musk, the public persona, is just like over the top. It's all about marketing. That's what he is. He's a marketer. So he does these things to just like draw attention to himself. It's just like my perspective of him is that he's essentially 100% ego. Just like there's ego, there's nothing else. And so he's always doing this stuff just to like, like Mars, we're shooting my car into space, fighting with Jeff Bezos. It's all just to like boost the image of him, like Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin. Like what's the value of buying Bitcoin for a company to buy it? Who knows? Elon Musk. But I do think that like he's just he's a bit out there. He's all ego. He's unfortunately made references to the red pill, so he's kind of like on like some weird alt-right journey in his life at different points.
Whoa! I'm going to stop you right there.
I often feel no. I often feel very bad for people who are associated with him in their personal lives.
I just got to stop you because not everybody who uses the term red pill is alt-right. I just got to point that out. Because
he 100% was using that in that context. Like the meme he was alluding to when he did that, it was shared by like Ivanka Trump and stuff. So like he knew what he was doing.
Well, because the term red pill is often used by, I'm going to say it, truthers, which is the new thing to call conspiracy theorists, because I don't know, the word conspiracy theorist is too bogged down by bad press or whatever. So now they're calling themselves truthers. But the term red pill is like, it's a reference to the Matrix when Morpheus gives Neo the choice of like eating the blue pill and going back into the Matrix and forgetting anything happened, or taking the red pill and seeing how far the rabbit hole goes. And so the term red pill, like when you like saying I got red pilled or whatever, it's like a common reference for truthers to talk about when they kind of got woken up like Neo did to what was actually going on in the world. So, like, I believe in some conspiracy theories, but not all of them, which is a weird line to dance, especially since apparently now some people think you're automatically an alt-right person if you believe in conspiracy theories.
No, there's a difference. I see what you're saying, but I think part of it has been co-opted by kind of the alt-right kind of people. But now that you've mentioned it, though, now I'm so curious. Like, what is your favorite conspiracy? And I know this is not like where you are going with it, but you gotta. What's a conspiracy that you're
Hey,
a big
we could
fan
go
of?
wherever we want. It depends. Like,
All
there's
right, do it.
so many different conspiracies. Like, my favorite, which is one that Alex Jones has talked about. And if you actually go to listen to episode 1000 of Joe Rogan, he talks about this. And I don't believe it at all. It's just the most ridiculous. Like, he talks about like interdimensional pedophile aliens, which is I saw you die a bit inside when I said
Okay.
that. So
It's just like it's a knowledge point I didn't need. Like there's just like
oh yeah.
that connection point. It just didn't need to exist.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
like
have to,
it's my favorite because it's beyond ridiculous. Like and the genius of it is it co-ops all of the QAnon like global pedophile ring stuff, because that's done by the interdimensional pedophile aliens who need the adrenochrome to like survive and I don't know, power their alien technology. But it also co-ops all the David Icke lizard person stuff that he talks about. So it's just kind of like it's one of those conspiracy theories where you could just kind of fold everything into it so it becomes this like great big conspiracy theory. And then it's like instead of having to prove so it turns out so instead of having to prove that there's interdimensional pedophile aliens, all you have to do is prove that there's pedophiles who may be going across country borders, and then that kind of is like, well, if they're going across borders, don't you think they're going around the whole globe? And if they're all around the globe, don't you think there's someone running all of them? And then all this stuff, and then you just like, yeah. But what's one that I actually believe? This is harder because it's like it's not like I believe specific conspiracies. It's just that there's like you see stuff and you're like, well, that could be true. But I guess you could always talk about like Operation Northwoods and stuff. And there was one where when JFK was alive, they were going to shoot down a passenger jet with like a remote controlled drone or whatever, and then blame it on either the Cubans or the Russians to kind of start an international war. And then JFK learned about it and he's like, yeah, we're not fucking doing that. But that had passed the Joint Chiefs and stuff. So that's just like a good conspiracy theories are actually real type of thing because it's something that actually happened. Or wait, yeah, I don't know, because it's like, or was Northwoods the one where the CIA was smuggling in drugs?
That is true. That's not a conspiracy theory. That is like a known truth that they use black funds to overthrow a government and then use drugs from them or something to like fund black sites and stuff like that, and stuff that they wanted off the books that they wouldn't be accountable to the government for because it's not, that money doesn't exist essentially.
Yeah, but before that was proven fact, it was just a conspiracy. See what I mean there?
Oh, like, but it was always God's truth.
Like, I don't think the moon landing was fake. I think they actually went to the moon because, I mean, it's just right there. You just fucking aim a rocket and shoot at it. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's like, I like to have the conspiracy mind because then it's like when I hear about stuff, I'm like, well, what's actually going on here? And then you kind of like look into it a bit more. So there's no conspiracies that tickle your fancy?
There's one or two, and they're both just like so dumb and obviously not true. So here's my favorite one. Okay. Is that you've heard of Beyonce?
Yeah.
Yes, you've heard of Beyonce. That's great. So
I have heard of
Beyonce. The conspiracy that I have read, which I know is just like it can't be true, but it's fantastic, is that Beyonce has a sister, Solange, who is also a artist, good singer, great singer.
Is she real?
So yeah, she's a real person, and she's
I've never heard of her.
14 or 15 years younger than Beyonce. And so the conspiracy is that when Beyonce was 13 or 14 years old, she got pregnant, had Solange, but because she was on a trajectory where they knew that she was like singing and becoming famous, that her parents adopted her child as her sister, and that Solange is actually Beyonce's child, but they just like they still live it as if she's their sisters.
Okay. I mean,
I don't think there's any evidence in the world.
Yeah, I call that like a baby conspiracy, not because it's like not important or anything, but it's like if it is true, then it's like, oh yeah, that's true. Now what? Like that's like it's not like interdimensional pedophile aliens that if it was true, it would rock the foundations of society as we know it. It's just like it's one of those things where it's like if you find out Beyonce had a baby when she was 13, you just ask questions like, well, was she hanging out with Woody Allen? Like, how did this happen? I mean,
well, speaking of like Woody Allen, so he was in the news this week. Did you hear about this? That he's in.
Of course, I heard about it. Woody Allen. Woody Allen.
His casting choices
is a piece of shit, and like the reason why he's in the media right now is because the documentary, what was it, Farrow versus Allen, where Mia Farrow alleged that Woody Allen sexually assaulted their daughter. What's her name? Dylan Farrow? Do you know? So anyways, like there's this whole, like it's been a thing that's been going on forever. Like it's been in the news, and Woody Allen says it's absolutely not true. And he says that Mia Farrow coached her into saying that he had done all these things and stuff. Meanwhile, fucking Woody Allen marries what's the name of his wife? Why am I blanking on this? It's like
I don't know her name.
Okay, so Woody Allen married his adopted I want to say Chinese daughter. Oh god. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna Google it because this is bugging me. Woody Allen wife. So, Sun Yi. So Woody Allen married Sun Yi, who was. This is so gross if you don't know.
Mia Farrow's adopted daughter.
Yeah. So Mia Farrow adopted Sun Yi, and Woody Allen married Mia Farrow, and then Woody Allen breaks up with Mia Farrow and marries Sun Yi when she's like in between the ages of 13 and 15, which is beyond disgusting. So it's like knowing that he did that just in the public for the world to see, and then he's like, I definitely did not sexually assault the other child. I just married this one and didn't do anything to that other one. Like, it's beyond revolting. And I don't know. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, everybody else is getting Me Too'd. Why is Woody Allen still like not in jail?
Oh, yeah. Who knows? Too much.
I know, right?
I wish I had not brought that up.
Yeah. Well, I kind of brought it up. But do you want to know the age difference?
I'm going to say 47 years.
They were married in 1997.
All right.
Wait, let me see. So Woody Allen is 85 right now. And Sun Yi is 50. So she's
35.
50 now. Oh, so she married Woody Allen when she was 27.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not as bad as I thought it was, but it's still pretty gross that he married the like adopted daughter that he was like this is definitely, you got to look into, was this a grooming situation where well, actually he never married Mia Farrow. He was just her boyfriend for 10 years. Oh wait, that was just when they were married. Her relationship with Allen became national news in 1992 when she was 22 and he was 59.
Much older.
So she's 22, he's 59, and this is just when it becomes public. Like, this is when the world's like, oh, look who's dating. Who's that new couple on the red carpet? It's that fucking old guy with that girl who used to be his like the person he took care of. Ugh. Yeah, maybe we should move on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it so much. So, if you watch a Woody Allen movie, don't. I mean, have you watched any Woody Allen movies yourself?
Me? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Especially since 1992. That's when they all got good. Oh no. I have, because they're classics, right? So there's the problem. There's always the problem of if you have somebody like Woody Allen, and there are things that are classic works that are kind of in the public consciousness.
Yeah.
That are like part of culture, right? So he had some earlier works that very much were, and then there's newer things that I think you can like easily excuse and just be like, I would never be interested in watching that. And it would be the same with like J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter stuff. She has important views about things. No, let me keep going.
She's just a turf.
Important views. Yes, not just a turf. That's an important view about people. And so, with that though, Harry Potter is something that is bigger than her, and it's part of the public consciousness. Yeah. And so, I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing in the world to like read Harry Potter to your kid, watch the movies or anything like that, because they're essentially missing out on like a cultural touchstone.
Yeah.
And sure, you could be all like high and mighty and pious about it, but then you're like shooting your kid in the foot or something like that. Not in a literal sense, obviously, but you know, you're kind of keeping something from them that, you know, everybody else in the world has experienced and will continue to experience. And whether, you know, it's a great work or not, that's kind of beside the point. But
I mean, I just got to say, what J.K. Rowling's done is like, she's a TERF, so that means trans exclusionary radical feminist. And that means that's just like feminists who don't want to allow trans women to be involved in their feminist groups and stuff. So that means like a man who becomes a woman is a transgender woman, because you call them by, or what they call themselves is by what they turned into. So like a transgender woman was man and is a woman, and a transgender man was a woman and is now a man. So her thing is, it's bad because I don't know, it's like you don't like, you want to like, these people believe themselves to be women, so they should be treated like women. So whether they should be involved in like a radical feminist group is far different than what Woody Allen did. So I'm saying is
it's still an abhorrent. She's diminishing.
Okay.
She's punching down so hard, right? Like,
yeah,
you know, it's a bad view and it's a harmful view to people. And so, you know, I'm not saying that like, I'm not saying
I just wanted
that,
to
like,
make sure we weren't comparing the two.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, like, no, I guess in the sense though that if like J.K. Rowling came out with something new, I'm not very interested in it because I don't really care and I don't want to support her financially beyond like something from the past. You know, I have some old books from back in the day. I don't think I would like rebuy them or anything like that. Maybe library, but both of them in my mind, some of the whether it's Harry Potter or I don't even know his movies. When Harry Met Sally, not his movie at all.
Oh yeah,
but
Sleeper was the only one of his I could think of.
Oh yeah. So something that is like a classic, you know, it's understandable to watch something like that because of the impact that it had. Annie, did he have one called Annie?
Yes, he did.
Annie Hall, maybe it was called.
Yeah, Annie Hall is what it was called. So basically, what we can do arbitrarily, the court of Derek and Dale pudding shirt judges, we say that if the movie came out by Woody Allen before 1992, when he was basically unveiled as a dirtbag, you could feel less guilty about watching, but you'll still feel weird knowing that the mind that brought you the entertainment was the same mind that would marry his adopted daughter. Well, actually, is she his adopted daughter? Because he was only dating her mother for 10 years. I don't know. That's enough to be like, if you're in someone's life for 10 years. Well, actually, also, I don't know if she was around that whole 10 years, but I'm just going to look up the date for Annie Hall. Okay, Annie Hall's 1977, which we probably should have known.
There you go.
That was Sun Yi was only 7 years old when Annie Hall came out, and Woody Allen was
old,
42. So there you go. Wow, Woody Allen is really old. I had no idea he was 42 in 1977 when Sun Yi was only 7 years old. So, like, I mean, I don't know, like Harry Potter and stuff, I never really liked because I thought it was just, it kind of like, as the books progress, it feels like J.K. Rowling is teaching herself how to write. Like the first Harry Potter's like this thick, and then the seventh one's like this thick. So it's like, it's almost like a weird psychological kind of study, because as the kids grow, so does her writing skill. And as their life becomes bigger with like more experience of life and wizard knowledge, then so do the books become thicker. But I always felt like they were like, why would you read Harry Potter or watch the movies when Lord of the Rings exists or stuff like that? But I watched the movies just because, I don't know, like the first movie I watched, I was like, oh, this is little kids, this is weird. But it was like the last one was dope because it was just like wizards fighting each other, which is cool. But it was just like, I don't know, I kind of watched them. I was like, I get it. Like, I'm not going to like, oh, the perfect comparison is Ender's Game. Did you read or see that?
No.
Like that's purely science fiction. It's young adult writing, and it had a movie adaptation. I liked that movie just as much or more as the Harry Potter series, but it's just because it's in space, and I'll by default like everything in space. So basically, if Harry Potter went away, I wouldn't really care because I'm not emotionally attached to it as an IP, and I'm not gonna watch Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, not because I have anything against J.K. Rowling, which I still think she's wrong, but I'm not saying like I'm boycotting her. I'm just not going to watch it because I'm not interested in the movies, even though Jude Law's in it. Oh no, wait, is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them? Is that the prequel to the Harry Potter books where he's?
I think they're in the past. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they are, but I'm wondering if Jude Law as Dumbledore, if that's in that series or a different prequel series she wrote. Anyways, Jude Law plays young Dumbledore, which is not enough to get me to watch those movies, and that's saying a lot because I fucking love Jude Law.
Oh yeah. You're a Jude Law man.
He's one of my man crushes.
Yeah.
Like if you watch the movie AI, if Gigolo Joe wasn't Jude Law, one or two stars worse, at least.
Okay. I Heart Huckabees. Have you seen that?
I fucking love that movie.
That is a fantastic movie.
Dude, I still, every once in a while, I'll reference that movie, and no one will know what I'm talking about because, like, they're like, what are you talking about? But that part where he's wearing the sunglasses and his wife gets all, like, hippie and weird, and he's like, and he's, like, talking to her, and she's like, there's glass between us, and she, like, grabs his sunglasses. Like, I've done that to Andrea, and she doesn't know what I'm talking about. But...
Oh, it's so good. Rock.
Yeah.
You rock, Rock.
You
sit here being a rock. You are a rock.
And Mark Wahlberg as the fireman character. Oh, it's so I'm gonna watch that after this. I'm gonna make Andrea watch it.
It is a fantastic movie.
And you know what? A lot of people didn't like it.
They missed out.
They are missing out. If you haven't watched I Heart Huckabees, and my older brother doesn't have to watch it because I know he already hates it and he's not gonna like it, but because I know he listens to all these and then he'll be like, I watched that. No, I didn't like it. But so he has a pass. He doesn't have to watch it.
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah.
it's fantastic. Yes.
So Beyonce's little sister is actually her daughter. To get
100%.
back down, we went way off that. That was like a 20-minute tangent. That was great.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was
On top
good.
of, so then if we're going back to that, then my second favorite conspiracy theory is also Beyonce related. And it's that
really?
there was a Brazilian conspiracy a few years ago that Beyonce was jealous of Sia and kidnapped her and was keeping her in her basement and still forcing her to release music.
Oh, crazy. Is Sia
from
Brazilian?
her basement? No, I don't think so. Not at all.
Oh, just the conspiracy
but like
comes
there
out of
was,
Brazil.
yeah, it was this like conspiracy out of Brazil several years ago,
Okay.
and that Sia had been kidnapped and was like trying to let her fans know through like little hints and stuff. And it was Beyonce or something who had kidnapped her.
Oh, like the whole Britney Spears thing. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's not cool, but I haven't heard that conspiracy. Well, I hadn't heard either of your Britney or either of your Beyonce conspiracies, but that's cool. Like the only conspiracies I've heard about Beyonce is that she's Illuminati and that she drops like subtle like symbolism in her videos and stuff. But I haven't heard that one. The Sia one's cool. I don't know. Sia's weird. Like she is another one. Like she always hides her face, and then she had that girl in all her videos for so long.
Oh yeah.
Which wouldn't be as weird as it is, except we just talked about Woody Allen. So now you're like, wait, there's a little girl in the video. What's that all about? And it's just
nobody was thinking that. Nobody was thinking that.
It's just
that's a you thing. Yeah. That's just you.
Okay, well,
yeah,
they came up in conversation near each other, so I'm like, do I have to look at this differently? Yeah. So is Sia in that conspiracy? Is Sia still in her basement, or did she let her go?
I don't know. No. So I remember hearing this from there was a podcast several years ago called Internet Explorer, and
that's a random name.
Yeah. And so it wasn't related to Internet Explorer, but it was like a BuzzFeed podcast that was looking at the weirdest, mostly darkest parts of the internet. And
you don't want to do that.
Oh yeah. No, it was amazing. It was just like, it's probably still online and would 10 out of 10 recommend listening to it if you want to hear disturbing things from several years ago.
Well, if it's about conspiracies, I'm definitely going to check
Definitely in. But that's where I think I had heard that from. And so they did some reporting on that and how like Brazilian fans of Sia for a while had thought that she was kidnapped.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was just thinking like, because when I asked you, is she still like trapped in Beyonce's basement? It's like there's so many conspiracy theories that like a couple years later, you're like, that was just ridiculous. How could anybody ever thought about it? Because conspiracies never age well. Because they're always like usually so time dependent, and then they're like, then like,
and
like Sia's still around and she's still making videos, so she's obviously not in Beyonce's basement still, because she's appeared in the videos. And wouldn't she just be like, yo, Beyonce had me in her fucking basement, send the cops?
Yeah.
But I guess if Beyonce is the Illuminati, then Sia wouldn't be like, I'm not going to call the cops on the Illuminati because then they'll just affect me. Kind of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem with conspiracy theories, if it's like a broad, big ranging conspiracy theory, is that organizations on a whole aren't great at holding in secrets, especially if it's like a big secret. And also, as somebody who has worked either in or near government before, like things just kind of happen, and it's not like there'll be planning for sure, but then things just get going. And so if you're thinking of like the government of BC or the United States government, it's not that like there's just like an intense amount of like Yeah, there are brilliant people who work there, and there's people who are keeping everything going. But there's a certain point where entities will get going, and they just go. And so, it's not like that. There's thousands of people in America who are in a conspiracy because thousands of people could not coordinate that well and could not keep that secret. Like, it's just an impossibility. The moon landing being fake it's not possible. Because I've seen an astronaut punch out a guy when he was really pissed off about it, and B, it's just like, no, but it would have come out. It just would have come out by now. It's an impossible thing to keep that a secret for so long.
Yeah, like I like what you were saying. Like, it's so impossible for different government like branches to communicate with each other now with the internet and with computers that can do it all automatically. Just imagine like in what was like the JFK, like 63, 65?
Yeah, 67 maybe.
Yeah. So imagine trying to keep everybody in that conspiracy like, yo, you can't say this or whatever, and like just all the people that involved that would have to keep that contained. Or like you said, the moon landing, like, so basically you have everybody who's at the launch place in Houston, you'd have to keep secret. They couldn't tell any of their family. And then all the people involved with building the rocket, you'd have to keep secret. So it basically, like, to keep one secret, you just balloon up. Like, and like the best example is like murders. The way that most murders are solved is because some idiot talked about it to someone else. And then the cops heard about them talking about it and then basically scooped them up and then proved it. So it's like, you really think you're going to be able to keep like what? Like, let's say lowball, there's 1,000 people involved in the moon landing. You're going to keep all 1,000 of them from never mentioning it in their entire lifetime? It's not possible.
Yeah, or like on a deathbed or something like that. Like somebody would just be like, the whole thing was fake.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah, like
no family to worry about or anything. And
yeah, like especially anonymously, like Deep Throat from the Watergate scandal. Like there you go. There's the perfect example. Like that was an attempted conspiracy and it failed horribly. And that was that the Washington Post that solved that?
Bernstein.
Woodward and Bernstein were the reporters.
Woodward and Bernstein. Yeah.
That was. I was trying to think of the actors and I just blanked. It was that blonde guy who was in everything and one of the Italian actors.
Redford.
Pacino? Yeah, Redford.
Robert Redford.
No, it was Robert Redford and it was Dustin Hoffman. Yeah. I remember.
Very Italian. Dustin Hoffman. Mamma mia.
He's like you said, how Italians are in movies. There you go. He was always like eating meatballs at his desk and slurping down spaghetti.
Constant. Oh yeah.
He'll
like,
live
I don't
with
have
his
time
mom.
for this reporting. I got to eat some pasta.
If anybody's
Where's
still
my
listening,
spaghetti?
we're in trouble. Hey, you can't eat spaghetti in yellow shirts, right? This pudding shirt would be ruined if I ate spaghetti in it.
Oh, be horrible. Yeah, that's why you need the little napkin that you tie around your neck.
Oh my god! Like, just I want to get like a bulk Red Lobster, like the plastic napkins they give you, so I can eat in clothes. Usually,
a plastic napkin of some sort that would be worth money, don't you think?
It would. Oh my god, we should.
Yeah,
I should make.
You could sell those.
I should make as part of podcast swag, just fucking eating bibs with the podcast logo.
Little bibs. Little bibs.
Adult size bibs. And with like that little bowl at the bottom. Like, you know how like baby ones have the bowl that catches all the food so it doesn't fall on the floor?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, just adult size.
Yeah. That would be amazing. Except for knowing myself, I would eat something. It would be a total success. All the stuff would be in the little pouch at the bottom, except for when I got up, I'd probably spill the pouch. and then it would just be like almost a bigger disaster because it would all fall out at once. Yeah. Or I could just
Little
learn
Bibs.
to eat like an adult.
That's your podcast name.
Little Bits?
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. Little Bibs. Not Little Bits.
Little Bibs.
I mean, that's like a little obvious. Little
How about
Bibs.
Big Little
Bits
Bibs?
is a little obvious. Like, it's just on the nose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Bibs. Big boy Bibs. Oh, that's gender specific.
There you go.
Okay, well, we're almost at the end. Do you want to talk about super follows? Because you're not on Facebook anymore.
I'm not, unfortunately. Yeah.
Do you want to tell the audience, or you just want to like whatever? They'll figure it out.
Oh, yeah. So the super follows. The super follows is essentially anybody.
Do you want to tell them why you're not on Facebook? Or
not on Facebook. I thought. I only used it for invites.
I would like to.
Have you heard? There's a global pandemic, Dale.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this thing? COVID-19.
It's been mentioned once or twice in my Facebook timeline, which you probably didn't see.
Yeah. No, I did not. No, because I was only using it. So several years ago, I deleted Facebook from my phone. Mm-hmm. And then when you delete it from your phone, you realize you never use Facebook. And you were only going on because you would get a notification. And so then I started missing events because I just wasn't paying attention to Facebook anyway. Luckily, I'm married to somebody who is still on Facebook and still like lets me know about things in life. Yeah. And so I at some point was just like, I don't need Facebook. I downloaded all the data from it I wanted, which you can easily do, export all your photos, posts, stuff like that. So I have them backed up on my Google Drive. And then I shut it off, and it's been just under a year now.
Oh, crazy. So like, yeah, the reason I was asking you about this before the podcast, because I was like, when I was putting a Facebook post like, yo, we're going to do this here and there because we stream on Facebook. If you don't know that by now, then I'm sorry, you just found out. But I went to tag you and your name wasn't popping up. I was like, wait, does Derek not have Facebook? And then, but it's like, it's a thing that's happening more and more. Like, you don't have it. Past guest Scott doesn't have it. My older brother Neil doesn't have it. I think no, Jeff doesn't have Twitter anymore. So it's weird. It's because the funny thing is everybody who doesn't have either Facebook or Twitter has the other one, which I don't know. Like Derek on the podcast, the real Derek, the not pudding shirt Derek, the less handsome Derek, the one who doesn't wear short shorts Derek, he doesn't have he doesn't have Twitter, but he has Facebook. So now that everybody knows which one of who has who, but yeah, it's funny because it's like I went to get rid of Facebook a couple years ago, and then I realized that I had used the Facebook login. Like, you know how you can like make a name, like you make an account for like different websites, or it's like, or it has this button, or use Facebook login. And I'm like, well, I'm a lazy guy. I'm obviously going to use that. So now it's like I don't know how many of those I have, so I don't really want to delete Facebook because then I don't know. Then you know how it is. I don't want to have to remember passwords and stuff. And also, horrible. I use Facebook Messenger. I use as my main messaging platform, even more than text. Like I have a couple group chats that we have, and that's basically where you had to go say anything that's questionable on the internet to your friends, because you can't say it on Twitter anymore. Which is dumb, because if anybody tracks you more than Twitter, it's Facebook. So everything bad that I've ever said in Facebook Messenger is probably on someone's desk right now, and they're like, if this Dale guy ever does anything super important, we could cancel him at any moment. And then I'm over here, I'm like, yeah, that sounds terrible. Maybe I should just never do anything important. Oh no, my internet connection.
Back. Okay. I'm back. Was that you or me?
I think that was me, because it just said you're not connected to the internet. And then it had like a little thing that said Your internet is unstable. So where did I cut out for you?
You cut out doing this. Like
I
that.
don't.
You were mentioning that somebody would have your
Oh, right. How
all
everybody
your
would
files
have
on Facebook.
everything bad I said on Facebook in the Facebook Messenger. They would have it somewhere and they could cancel me. And then I said this great joke about how
it was brilliant.
if I ever did anything super important, they could cancel me. So that's why I'm not doing anything important, because I don't want to be canceled. Oh yeah,
Perfect.
super follows. Sorry. So what super follows is Twitter is, they haven't set a date or anything. I think they just kind of dropped this to see what the reaction would be, but they're going to do like, it's basically like paid content from Twitter users. So like, say you want to follow me on Twitter at SuperDalebot or Derek Furtney, which is at Furtney. And you're like, gee, this guy's really funny. I'm going to follow him. And then either me or Furtney will be like, you know what? That's just a taste of the free stuff. If you want to see my premium content, go to this other timeline and pay a monthly subscription, which I could tell you right now, I will absolutely never sign up for a monthly subscription to anybody's timeline.
Yeah. Do you use Substack at all?
I didn't even know what Substack was before I started researching this. What is Substack?
Okay. Substack would be, it's a platform that allows you to put out your own content. So it's like a very fancy, better set up blog all in one place, kind of like Medium in a way, where you can like post your content through there. Except I think through Substack, you're more able to utilize it, or sorry, monetize it.
It's like Medium, but I don't know what Medium is. So
there you go.
That sounds like yeah, like no, I don't. It's like there's this other thing, Rockfin, which is like Rockfin is like, it's like a monthly subscription for podcasts, but it's like the Netflix for podcasts. So if you pay like a monthly subscription, you get this content from basically conspiracy theorists. That's the only people who go on there, because they've all been kicked off YouTube. So they need to go somewhere and it's like, everybody knows I'm into conspiracies, but I'm not into conspiracies enough to go pay for them. So I don't know. I feel like if I cross that threshold, then that would be like problematic, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I think
for sure.
I think this like super Twitter, or what super follows on Twitter, might actually kill Twitter. Like,
yeah, who knows, right? I mean, like, it all depends on, I think there's a few people who could make it work. Like
Elon Musk.
I'm thinking of people. No, I was thinking of a certain person who lives in and around Vancouver, who people hotly debate if they are a real human or not. And I saw that they said that they will do selfies. And so I think there's enough people in the world who want to see that person's mug and see if they are in fact a real human, that will alone get enough subscribers for to help Twitter stay alive, basically.
Do you want to hear a special secret about that person? I have met that person.
What a great secret.
I have met that person in real life. And that person is in fact real and a person.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. You don't say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, what I wanted to do was like say, hey, do you want to come on this podcast as a big reveal that you're actually a person? But I'm not sure that they would do it.
No, I couldn't picture them doing that.
I wonder if they watch this podcast. Do you think we've been secretive enough that they'd know who we're talking about?
Depending on your audience. I don't know who your audience is.
Yeah. No, like if the person we're talking about that is actually a person, if they watched this podcast right now, if they knew we were talking about them.
I think you can give hints to that person, like, you're a bad driver, you park your car on trees. Those two things alone, I think that'll out the person to themselves.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, person who is a person, if you want to come on this podcast and reveal that you are in fact a person, just let me know and we'll do it up. The best is like anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about is going nuts. They're like, what are they even talking about? This is worse than the conspiracy talk.
Yeah, no, it's obviously Scott. I mean, he's just not a real person.
Well, he's not on Twitter anymore.
Huh.
So I don't know if he's a real person anymore. Like, if you're not on Twitter.
Are you a real person?
Actually, I met him in real life. He's a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
a non-person thing, like a dystopian. Yeah. That sounds like so just like dystopian future. Like, is this person a real person? So yeah, you don't think that super follows is going to wreck Twitter even more than it's? I feel like Twitter is on a decline. Do you feel like that?
I think it kind of seems like a lot of content is at this point, and partially, like I believe you've had a guest on Brandy before, and I've seen her mentioning before that it's just like nobody has anything to say at the moment, and so there's just like
except this podcast.
Well, obviously, but there's just so much of the same at the moment. Like we're coming into almost a year of a pandemic. We're all seeing the same people. If we're responsible, we're not seeing too many people right now, and so we're running out of things to say that we kind of see as meaningful. And that's kind of the problem there. That it's just there's a lack of like new experiences to kind of fuel the content of Twitter.
Yeah, that's true. And there's nothing. Like, you can't go do things and brag about doing things. Like, you can't be like, oh, look where I am. Like, I guess that would be more Instagram thing. Like, be like, look what restaurant I'm in. So you can't brag about it. But yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe it's just my personal interest in Twitter is going down. But.
Well, I'm going to start tagging you on almost all my posts now.
Oh, could you?
Yeah. Just talking with Dale.
Yeah. Just hanging out with Dale. And then I'll be like, see, Mom, I have friends. Derek Furtney tags me on Twitter.
All the time. Like,
what's Twitter?
And it was Derek Furtney.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Did you want to add anything else?
No. I'm not sure if it is like the end of Twitter. I think this is just one of those things. They're a company that pivots and tries things, and they're going to do what they do. It's kind of like they see OnlyFans and Substack making money, and they're kind of like, here's a new revenue source. Let's see if we can cut it. I think they're trying a Facebook at the moment, where Facebook just steals other people's ideas. And so that's what I think Twitter is doing in this case. And maybe they'll be able to monetize it well, maybe not. They'll probably just like pivot away from it. And
like Twitter, they announced that I think they want to do this by 2023 or 2022. They want to make over 70 billion annually, and they're only making 27 billion right now, which isn't 27 billion enough, Twitter? How do you have to make more than that? I mean, yeah. Weirdly enough, though, like I keep seeing stuff like this, like people talking about like getting off Facebook because it's like, or getting off Twitter because they end up getting in too much arguments and stuff. And I keep thinking, man, if Google Plus came out right now, it would be the best because
amazing.
I don't know. I just like Google Plus just came and went, and you're like, wait, guys, that was actually a good idea. You're just going to give up on that where we can like have friend groups and stuff. And I don't know. I always thought Google Plus was a good idea, but nobody used it. So, and I didn't want to be talking to myself on 3 different platforms, so I just took it down to 2. Yeah, but it's like, but I think it would be funny because then you could like instead of Twitter kicking all the right wing people off and it going to Parler, you would just have Google Plus right wing and Google Plus left wing, where everybody would have these 2 separate circles, and they put all their friends in each other in the different circles. Do we have to explain Google Plus, or do you think everybody knows what it was?
Nobody knows. Nobody cares anymore. Was it the same as Wave? Google Wave, or
What was Google Wave?
oh, it was some other thing they
Was that like
did.
Hangouts? Is Google Hangouts still around?
I think they're shutting that down too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what else Twitter wanted to fucking launch as part of their make money thing? They want to do a thing to be a competitor to Clubhouse.
Oh.
Which is, to me, is the dumbest fucking thing ever. Like, I don't even know how Clubhouse is a thing. Are you familiar with Clubhouse?
No, yeah. Sorry.
I was just going to explain it. Clubhouse is an audio-based platform where people, so it's like, remember IRC and like archaic chat programs where you'd go into a room and you'd talk to all the people in the room, and then you'd have rooms based on like subjects, like you go be like Solange Knowles, like so you'd go in there and then everybody would just would be Solange fans, and they'd talk about all that. Well, Google, like Hangouts, I want to say Google Hangouts, but it's, or not Google Hangouts, Clubhouse is this chat program where people go into rooms and like someone will host it. Like if I hosted, like if this was Clubhouse, I would just be like, this is the Clubhouse room for Outrage Factory. And we wouldn't have this video, and it would be like me talking, and then it would just be full of people able to talk at the same time, and it would be fucking chaos. It would be like a Zoom meeting with no video. And I don't know. The only reason I feel like this is a thing is because it's invite only. So it's like, it seems like it's still a little bit prestigious. Like, remember when Gmail first started and you had to get an invite to be on Gmail, and people would like lord it over you? They'd be like, I'm on Gmail. And you're like, cool, I'm on Hotmail. And they'd be like, no, you don't understand. I'm on Gmail. You could only get Gmail with an invite. And you're like, oh, well, can I have an invite? And they'd be like, yeah, here's an invite. But Clubhouse is like, it's all like these tech gurus and like I guess famous people. So it's like tech guys and famous people are on it, and they like talk to each other on it. Like Mark Zuckerberg's on it. The guy from Twitter's on it. I guess some other people are on it, and they'll have like highbrow meetings like, where is media headed and how can we help it get there, and stuff like that. So I think I kind of want Twitter to do this just so everybody will flood on and be like, this is stupid. This is like those phone chat rooms in the 90s. And then it'll just collapse. And then I don't know what happens after that.
There you go. Yeah. No more internet.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe the whole internet will just collapse, and then people will play board games with me. Remember board games?
So good. Love board games. Love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting to the age where it's like I still play video games, but I'm starting more and more to play like just board game video games, which are like like me and my older brother will play Ticket to Ride on our computers. Which is actually a good idea for the pandemic. Like, you go on and you play, like, well, he lives in Calgary, so I can't really fucking play with him anyway. So it's good in that way. Yeah. So
yeah, we outraged out.
Yeah. I'm all talked out. I don't know how Jogan Rogan. I don't know how he talks for 3 hours. My throat hurts from talking just this much.
Oh yeah, I've been practicing. I've been gargling salt water. A lot of me moo ma me moo ma all day long, just all day long. Getting my throat ready. A lot of throat yoga. Did the throat yoga like? Yeah.
Did you get your throat ready, Furtney? Was your throat ready for this podcast?
Oh yeah, you know it. Throat ready for sure.
And that's the clip. Yeah, thanks a lot for posting.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, you know, coming on hosting with me.
It has been a pleasure and an honor. And you know what? This is going on the resume. With,
nice.
I'll write out the link on the resume. On the underlined so people know it's a hyperlink on the printout. And yeah.
Color it blue.
Yeah.
Nice. If people want to reach you, where do they go? Just Twitter, or do you have like any
Twitter.
other?
Twitter is the place to find me.
Presence. And that's at Furtney?
Yep.
And
that would be it. I have Instagram, but it's locked down, so nobody can get on me there. But
okay.
Yeah. And how about you? How do they find you, Dale?
You can find me on Twitter at SuperDalebot. You can find the podcast Twitter at OutrageFactPod. That's the same for the Gmail, OutrageFactPod, to send us some feedback. If you want to tell us how jealous you are that me and Furtney are both wearing pudding colored shirts and you want to be part of the pudding crew, then feel free.
Pudding shirt shimmy.
Pudding shirt. If you're listening to audio, you should go watch the video just so you can see our pudding shirt dance. It was quite epic and definitely worth listening to this whole podcast again as the video version. The podcast is on YouTube. You can go find it. Jesus Christ. I had to give it a stupid link because some asshole already had Outrage Factory on YouTube. So basically, just like everything else with the internet, I wanted Outrage Factory, but I couldn't have it because somebody took it and then never used it. But here, I'm searching it right now. Maybe should have done this before, but you know, that's part of the magic. That's how the sausage is being made. So if you go to youtube.com channel /uppercase U, uppercase C, 8P, WFB, RMK, KH -0, XL, or is that a capitalized I or a 1? You know what? How about you just go search Outrage Factory?
Links in the show notes?
Yeah, there is a link in the show note. Subscribe so you never have to worry about, because that was like a bunch of letters and there was a bunch more and I just gave up. Go do that. You can, if you want to just listen to this because you're scared that if you look at me and Furtney at the same time, will be just too sexy for your brain to handle it, just go to outragefactory.com and get the audio version. I think that's it. Oh yeah, we have Patreon, Outrage Fact Pod at Patreon. However that website works, just give us some dollar bills so you don't have to go on get our super Twitter of us. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Lovely.
Did you want to say anything else, sir?
No, I'm good.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. And until next time, do you want to do it?
Do.
No, not that. We're going to get sued by Nardwar now. No, see what happens is usually the other person will say, and until next time. And then I say, stay angry. So I'll say it. And then you say the say angry part. Okay.
Stay crispy.
Nope. Close.
Angry.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Real time. We're going to try it again.
Right.
Until next time, everybody.
Stay angry.
Nice. We did it.